How's it going, guys? Today I got gameplay of Final Fantasy XIV, and I'm here to talk about why games such as FF7 and FF8 and 9, if you think about it, it counts with those two, cannot be fully scale remade to what we have today. So, first off, we gotta remember that. Look at the world map. Do you remember how big the world map was in Final Fantasy VII, and how little the icons were, or the little structures were to teleport into the big cities? Like Midgar, for example, it's surrounded by a big, vast, open field, and it's that small little circle in there. And you go in, and this is this huge city. And you gotta remember that the, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get it off the top of my head, but basically, Midgar's actual size would be, say, the size of this map, probably, maybe bigger, I don't know, depending on how they did it. It could be up to Grand Theft Auto 5's world map, or San Andreas' world map. That's how big it could be, just Midgar itself. That could take years. On years even. And then you also have the fact that there's other cities in the Gold Saucer. It's all just a bunch of fucking... It's a huge map with very little and very much. And another thing that we gotta remember is that remember how Kingdom Hearts 1 was lost pretty much, and they had to pretty much buy the game and play it again just to remake that, because it was from when they were Squaresoft days. For all we know, they could have lost the data for FF7, so they can't just revamp most of it, and they'd have to start from scratch and play the game over again. And given the unique dialogue there is, like if you have a certain combination of party members in certain ways, or even then there's also the unlocking certain party members optional ones. That would take, they'd have to go over multiple times and 100% complete the game in order to get everything to be the exact same. That's why we got the PC port, because you can just, it's already there. But it's just, how do I put it? It's actually a very difficult thing to do. If you have any questions after this video, or if you disagree with me, you can make a comment on it, but it's just all that scripting, character models, everything would take forever because of all the unique dialogue for certain situations if you have certain characters, and they'd have to play through it more than, I don't know, they'd have to have at least 3 discs, logs. They'd have to have more than probably 50 people trying to 100% it, writing down every little unique detail they do, making sure they don't do the exact same thing, and that's kind of difficult actually to do. That took them, on the PS1 version, it took them 3 years, so I wouldn't be surprised if it would take 30 years to actually remake it to what we have today. And you also gotta remember the combat system. It's not gonna work. Making this game style, like graphics like this, playstyle like this, but with the combat system of the original Final Fantasy VII, it's not gonna work very well. It doesn't flow. It doesn't flow together like it did on the PS1 PC versions. So, and they'd have to alter that, probably to use 13's fighting style, or 12's fighting style even. But all in all, it comes back to the world map, because when we're playing Final Fantasy VII, like look, this is pretty much what we're seeing when we're on the world map. How long it takes to travel from say, right here, all the way to the other side of this bridge, somewhere around here, would be from Midgar to Calm. And That's how much walking you have to do on the actual game. Like, I mean, I'm going off by memory, so it could be a little more and it could be a little less. But then you gotta remember that Calm was a town like this, pretty much. Like, not the literal like this, but it was the size. And the world map was even bigger, so... let's see. Let's look for an example. Eastern La Nocia. Let's go there. I'm just going to a random one to give you an example of how big it is. The world map is so open world. Like, look at this. This whole map right here is bigger than the actual world map of the FF7, give or take. Well, not exactly bigger, but you get what I'm trying to... You understand what I'm trying to get at, right? But it's huge. The world map was fucking huge. Like, I'd love it if they could remake the game and full-scale model it, but it's just damn near impossible. You gotta be real sometimes. Doesn't mean you can't dream, you can't hope that one day it'll happen, but so far we just gotta deal with ports. Maybe on the next console we might be able to get an actual full-scale remake, but would it feel the same? I don't think so. Pretty much, we're doing all this movement. You gotta remember that in FF7, there was no wildlife, no trees, it was just a blank world pretty much. It was all just flat. They'd have to add those details too. There was like occasional forests, yeah, but that was I guess nowadays you call that lazily done, but that was actually, you had to, it's actually quite difficult to do. But yeah, this is a little bit of an awkward one because I didn't write any of this down. I'm trying to go off with what I've got. Then we got all the different types of enemies. Like this game, the enemies are, I guess, lazy. They were done lazy almost because we got this, like look, at the same model, just a different name and different level as the Horny Toad from earlier on in the game, if you know. They just use the same models over and over again with different names. Sometimes you'll find a brand new model that you haven't seen, like fucking Naboros, but they have different effects. And this is an enemy that I haven't seen in any other game yet. That could be another game I just never encountered one. But look at how much it is just for this small little piece of area. Look at how much traveling we have to do. And then you got the Chocobo, which, let's show you just how fast the Chocobo is. Ah, son of a bitch. Now let's look. Let's look at this. Look at the traveling and all that. So the Chocobo is not fast. If you were able to fully scale remake it, you could spend, I don't know, maybe up to, depending on how they do it, you could spend up to half an hour making your way to Calm. I could be wrong, it could be less than that, it could be just a few minutes, like, I mean, it's not a total waste, but I just can't see how it would work. I've been hoping for the remake just as much as anybody else has, but recently I've been thinking, this is what my thoughts have come to. The reason why we don't actually have a remake and just the hopes of one. They would need a huge development team just to make it, one that they currently do not have access to. And it's not that hard to see why. Go back and play the game for yourself, and now try to think of it the way it is. Like, I mean, look at the way 13 was. Look at how much time 13 took. And they actually had, you could unlock warp points. And it wasn't a free scale map until later on in the actual original 13. And just the trilogy itself. It took a lot. It was hard. It wasn't easy to go from one place to another. I'm not going this way. Give me a minute. Nope, 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 nope. But basically, could you try and imagine it? Try to imagine going around in Final Fantasy VII like this. This full-scale map. Now, try having Midgar all the way, let's see, let's go, here's the region. Here's the region. This is Midgar. Say we, no, better off, let's say that Midgar is over here. Lower La Nocia, which took to where we are now. It took one combined area to get there. And then let's see, forgive me for a second. And then we have Midgar somewhere up here. I mean, we'd have Midgar here and Calm up here. It would be quite the walk if you did it into a free roam world, like world map. Look, the world map doesn't show as, it doesn't have as much as FF7 did. Like when we had Final Fantasy VII, we had a world here. Oh, we had a place here, place up here, and over here with some islands over here and over there. It filled up. It filled up the world map. It was a full world, and this is just, I guess, the size of an island. The remake is just, if they could afford it and they could actually remake it, I could imagine it would go for more price than any remake has ever gone, more than any original game, for how much work and money would have to be put into it. It could cost, for all we know, an actual remake of Final Fantasy VII, the cost of to make it, and then put in the cost to sell it so that they can make back that money, it could go up to $200 bucks a copy, for all we know. And that's a brand new copy. It could go that. I could be wrong. They might not be like that. They could be, it doesn't really, no one knows. I'm not a member of Square Enix, and all I know is what they say is that the maker of 13 would love to get involved into the development of a 7 remake if he had the team and time and all that. But like I said, I could be wrong, and if you think I am wrong, then you can comment on it if you want. But I just thought I'd put some thoughts out on there, and I don't mind discussing it, because there's no guarantee that it'll happen, and there's no guarantee that it won't. And I'm going to leave it here, and I'm going to, hopefully you'll tell me what you think, and I'll see you in the next video I make. Peace out.